Hello everybody, so today I am bringing you my NPC house design tutorial. Basically I'm giving you a guide to the requirements and some ideas and tips on how to make your own compact NPC hotel or village. I'm not doing anything fancy here. We're focusing on accessibility, space efficiency, and function. As a lot of my viewers will know, I'm not much on fancy design. You can get into that on your own. First, let's talk about the NPC house requirements. So, NPC house must be fully enclosed. The sidewalls can be made of blocks, doors, platforms, or tall gates, which I believe are a PC-only thing at this point. The last one, that is. And the floor and ceiling can be made of blocks, platforms, or trapdoors. Again, trapdoors since the 1.3 update. So, however, the floors cannot be all platforms. The NPC needs at least one solid block to stand on that is not adjacent to either wall. On PC, it also requires a 2x3 area, as in 2 horizontal, 3 vertical, because our characters are 3 blocks tall, unlike Smurfs. So it requires a 2x3 area unobstructed by foreground blocks. On console and mobile, it will actually allow you to build a 2-block tall house. The interior can actually be 2 blocks on console and mobile. So I've just spawned into a copy of the world that I created for my server, actually. And yeah, so the house must have at least one entrance, which can be a door, tall gate, trapdoor, or platform. Yes, I have a prototype I'm going to show you over there in a second. The size, including the frame, must be at least 60 tiles, but less than 750. And it must have player-placed background walls. It actually can have small holes, but they can't be like too big or right next to each other. But the background walls have to mostly be there. It must have a light source, a flat surface item such as a table, and a comfort item such as a chair. Basically, they need a place to sit their stuff, in theory, not that they have stuff, and somewhere to sit or lay down. And so various light sources and furniture items will work. The other little requirement is that it must not have too high of a corruption or crimson rating where it's located. Maximum corruption crimson rating is 250. That's about half the blocks in the area surrounding it have to be not corruption or crimson. So as I say, I'm going to focus on building compact houses floating a little off the ground so that I can travel under them and with easy access to the NPC. So this is what is commonly referred to as an NPC prison. And interesting thing, so obviously you can interact with your NPC because it's right above you. They're basically forced to stand on the ground right above you. And this is my version of how I want to deal with the NPCs. I can just walk along the ground freely, but they're right there, right above my head. And this is why I built it off the ground as well, but also close to the ground so that I can just literally walk under them and, you know, chat it up, access the shop for the various NPCs and so on. So this is my template, the good old NPC prison. It's 5 blocks wide, including the walls, and those dimensions are including the exterior walls. So it's 5 blocks wide and 12 tall. You can, of course, build things in various configurations, and I'm going to show you a couple, but this is my basic prototype. Interestingly, there is that little requirement that they have to have 1 block that is not right next to the walls, and that's why that 1 block is in the middle. I tried doing 2 platforms and then 1 block so that I could actually get up in there, and that's not allowed. So you have to have, if you're going to do the NPC prison, that block has to be in the middle. If you want to be able to get in there, you're going to need to make it probably 1 block wider or stick a door somewhere on the wall and so on. So anyway, that's my template, and I'm going to show you some more. So let's just cut to that in a second. Okay, so we're back, and you can see here actually one of the other reasons that I built these houses off the ground. The zombies can't get up inside and kill the NPCs, and even during a blood moon, although they can knock down doors, if they're not standing on a level surface, they can't do that. So you can see over to the left there, I've got Jacob, my guide, nicely trapped in his NPC prison, and I can walk underneath him. I can even put chests and stuff on the ground below those houses so I can have easy access to both the NPCs and my items. The zombies can't get in, but you can see over on this side where I am now, I've built some additional prototypes. So another idea is to have a rope up the middle, and to put them on either side. Now, obviously, space efficiency, you don't want those too tall like the prisons over on the left there. Now these are houses that you can actually enter with doors. You can see the zombies are now moving away, so I'm free to roam outside. But one of the things about this is that I also put in these blocks, which basically will force the NPCs to be around the table and chair area, again, for relatively easy access, so you can still talk to them relatively easily. Those blocks, you can't have it connected to the far wall because it has to be space. At least I don't believe you can. But I've put those blocks there so that they can't roam over there. They have to stay towards the door and the table and chair area. And speaking of tables, the prison variety over there, you can see I'm using workbenches to minimize the horizontal space because they only take 2 blocks wide. You can see here what I've done. I put one table in as an example, an actual table. It takes 3 blocks wide, and you can see that gives them a little more space to roam as well, which is going to be annoying when you're trying to access your NPCs. But one of the ideas here is to have like a vertical way of doing this instead of taking so much horizontal space, because once you get tons of those NPC prisons, that's going to take huge amounts of horizontal space. So you can do it vertically here with a rope. And a little thing worth noting here too, if you just climb the rope normally, it's about that speed. However, go away, slime. If you jump and then grab it, you can actually ascend. Whatever speed you're traveling vertically, if you grab the rope at that moment, you can ascend a little faster up that rope. So if you jump and then grab right away, you'll be ascending at the speed of your jump, which is helpful as well. Third idea that I used here as well, and you can see I put platforms either side of the rope so I can ascend vertically, but I can also walk horizontally. You can have a passage, so similar effect to those NPC prisons. You can have a 3-block passage between levels of NPC housing as well, and I can put platforms in here on the ceilings of the lower one so I can drop down into those if I want to, and that's actually what I've done so that I can hop in here. I've put platforms in the floors so I can hop up, and I've made these a little wider if you want, housing that you can actually access it with that additional block wide. You can do a double platform that you can actually get up into. So just some ideas. And one other thing that you will want to deal with as well, of course, these are all valid housing, and you can check that by going to your housing tab. Now, it's worth noting this is not available on mobile, which is kind of annoying, but if you're on PC or console, you just go to your housing tab here, and there's the housing query. And see, there you go. That's how you can check if it's suitable. It'll tell you, to some extent, it can be a little cryptic. It'll tell you generally if it's suitable and what it's missing or what's wrong with it. You can see when I did the one that's occupied, it says it's already occupied, but otherwise these are all in fact suitable houses, and that's how you can check. So design your houses accordingly. I hope I've given you some ideas there. You can of course make them prettier and design your own versions of them. So I hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.